Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to another Saturday Mega Wellness. We are streaming live. We are, again, live on Facebook. It is Saturday morning. We are open at Omega Sports, and we are now ready to have yet another fantastic show for you guys. I want to welcome, as you guys see on the screens, two of our fantastic guests. I'm super excited to have them. I'm going to start in the middle there. Corey Hatchell. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Dale?
I'm doing good. Now, for folks watching, we debuted a video last week from Corey called Iretha's Son, which we'll talk about a little bit more today. But Corey, we got some great feedback on that video already. So I'm glad to have you kind of live in. I know you're streaming from Morrisville today, live in our studio virtually on Facebook.
Yes, no, definitely. And I appreciate you sharing it live, and I welcome any feedback, the good and the bad. So I'm just excited to be here, and I'm glad that you were able to share it out.
Absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. And then, of course, over next to Corey, we've got Luke from UFOs. Guys, you know, we've been talking about UFOs for, it seems like weeks. It started with probably a Mother's Day promotion. We reminded people how fantastic this brand is. Part of the reason that we do very well and we're successful with UFOs is not just because it's a fantastic recovery sandal, but it's because of the relationships that we were able to build with their experts. So, Luke, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, you're streaming from Raleigh, correct?
Yep, I'm down in Raleigh.
Yep. So I know if you're in the Raleigh area and you've been to our North Hill store, I'm sure you've probably at times seen that we've done some special activations with UFOs. I know, Luke, you've been very gracious to come into the stores to work with our customers for special events. But Luke, are you excited? I mean, we've had such, especially over this pandemic, this time where people are told to isolate and stay home, boy, they've gotten out there. They're running, they're walking, and then, of course, they're enjoying the hot weather, and they're finding themselves in those UFOs.
Yeah, I mean, running, exercising, staying active is not canceled. So getting out there, getting some sun, being active, I mean, UFOs are going to help, that recovery process without you even realize you're recovering. So, yeah.
Yep. And Corey, I know you were talking already before we got on the show. A lot of folks don't realize we do some prep before the show. And I know you were getting connected and talking about, all you got to do is try them on. And that is what we say at Omega Sports. If you just try on a pair of UFOs, you will absolutely. I've seen them live. I'm one of those folks that tried them on. I ended up buying them for my mom, my cousin. I've recommended them to friends. I mean, it's just that simple. If you try them on when you come to Omega, and Corey, I know you're an avid Omega fan. You come into the stores and you're constantly discovering new, exciting brands. And I know that's what kind of introduced you to On Running as well.
No, definitely. And just to be clear, I went into Omega for something completely different. I just wanted to get my son some shin guards for soccer. That's all I wanted. And I got turned on to this new product and I tried them on. The guy told me they were going to feel like I'm walking on a cloud. I said, yeah, right. And I really did. And I had to buy them before I left. So yes, Luke, if the product sells themselves, you try them on, give it a try. You have nothing to lose. And so, yes, it really happened to me in real life. And I love it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that as I shared with you guys, that I want people to understand is that when we went into 2020, this is a new time and we had a lot of energy at Omega Sports, and that energy was really to kind of, as Corey alluded to, we know that we're your neighborhood sports store when it comes to those shin guards and all the things that people are, all the gear that kids need when it comes to their active sports. But we really want people moving. We want people to stay well. We want them to stay active. And so we kind of pivoted our branding from a marketing standpoint and a promotion standpoint around active play. The idea is you don't have to be a marathon runner to only shop at Omega Sports. You don't have to be in need of shin guards because you have to get them before a soccer, tournament. We want to make sure that we're just telling people, we want to help fit you. We want to help get you into the proper footwear and proper gear to help you stay active so that you can enjoy life to its fullest, whatever that may be. It could be walking, it could be running, it could be a sport, it could be, just getting more movement at home, especially right now, some more movement. And then a brand like OOFOS really kind of just flows nicely into all of that, because no matter what, comfort's important, and really kind of helping people be active but safely, safeguarding some of the things that people tend to get hurt with, whether it's knee or stress on their joints. A recovery sandal like OOFOS has really kind of been that nice go-to for us at Omega.
Yeah.
Yep. So we will have you guys back in a second. So I'm going to jump into some Omega news and we will start the show. Okay, guys? Thanks for joining us. Hang tight, okay?
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys. So as you know, we start the show off with Omega news all the time. I'm going to share my screen here, and I want to talk to you about a new shoe that we just dropped in our stores and online. Let me go ahead and bring my screen in here in a second. Let me grab my screen. All right, so this week we have been talking about the new Brooks Revel that has come in. So for those of you that are getting your email, thank you. Make sure you open those emails. Every day our team puts out something new. There's always something new that you can find and discover, or maybe be reiterated that we have them. Let's start with our MegaFlex coupon. This week we've launched a new MegaFlex coupon. I know this is a very popular one that a lot of our shoppers and our fans love. This is $20 off of $90, and now that's on our running shoes. So running footwear is $20 off of $90. You can use this both in stores and online. Just know that there are some exclusions that apply. Always talk to your store associates or our team members there, or go online and it'll kind of walk you through which shoes are available and which are excluded. However, there's a large selection, so don't let the some exclusions apply scare you. The MegaFlex coupon is July run, or you can just take this email in, hold up your phone, and they can scan it right at the register. In the emails this week, we've been highlighting all of our fantastic Yeti. So definitely, we want to be your source for Yeti. We want you to come to Omega Sports. We want you to shop online with us. Just remember that when you're buying Yeti, which we know is a huge favorite, with Omega Sports, we give you something more. So we have our fast rewards. You've heard me talk about that in the past. Those fast rewards really do pay off. So it's $5 on every 50 that you spend. We give you rewards faster than any other brand that's out there, any other retailer. And that's a sense of pride for us. We definitely want to make sure that you guys are taking advantage of that. So when you're looking for those cool gifts or something to just gift yourself while you're being active, like a Yeti Rambler is a fantastic gift to give someone, or just to kind of make sure that your whole family's outfitted with proper coloring. Buy your kids their favorite colors, buy yourself your favorite colors. You can always earn fast rewards. Now, the shoe that I wanted to talk about a little bit more today is that we did send out an email this week really highlighting the Brooks Revel 4. As you guys can see, it is the new version of the Brooks Revel, which is a fantastic shoe that we do very well with at Omega. We know that there's a lot of Brooks fans out there. That's why we were the first fan kind of strategy we had, was to give you guys that Brooks button, which is also on the email. So if you go to the website, you'll see that Brooks button. We always want to connect you to what's available immediately, what's upcoming, those new arrivals, and also what's on special, or what may be on sale, or especially those limited editions. You guys really have, this whole summer already, you guys have been killing it with the limited editions. But the exciting news is we do have a new shoe that's available from Brooks called the Revel 4. As you can see, it says it's the perfect combination of both that style and the performance that people want when they are running those miles or running around, just doing some errands. It's got that Bio Mogo DNA cushioning. So if you love the DNA cushioning that Brooks has, of course, in the Revel 4, you're going to find that same support that most folks are, they've come accustomed to when it comes to Brooks. So make sure you're opening up your email this week. We'll talk more about it online. You can go to omegasports.com and learn more about the Brooks 4, or just go to your Omega Sports neighborhood sports store, and they can just tell them, hey, I want to know more about this shoe called the Revel 4, or I'm a fan of the Revel. I haven't yet seen the Revel 4. Can you show it to me? And our active play experts will bring it out. All right. So that's our quick review of Omega news. Of course, we've got Brooks 12 still on sale, and then there's that famous Brooks button there that you guys can just hit and get instantly connected to all things Brooks when it comes to the Brooks running shoes. All right. And then for my InstaFave today, I wanted to share with you, since Corey's on the show today and we're talking about On Running and his passion for the brand, I wanted to do my InstaFave on running. And if you guys have been following, you know that Roger Federer, the most famous tennis player, the greatest of all time tennis player considered by many, is now working with On. And so he's a partner of On. He is a partner, and he is working with them diligently. We've had On the show, and we've kind of helped, hopefully crafted some idea that Roger was going to do something, and we could never get them to confirm anything. They were very careful to not confirm that Roger was going to put out a shoe. Well, guess what? Early on Monday, on July 6th, he dropped some exciting news with On Running. He is now offering the Roger. It's a limited edition. It's only 1,000. You have to sign up. There's a raffle. So hopefully you've been following On Running and you've gotten yourself into it. But I think the exciting news here is that Roger is fully engaged with On Running. He is putting out a fantastic shoe just to get people excited about his relationship with On. There is a website called theroger.com that it talks about the shoe. The shoe is called the Roger. It's called the Center Court Zero series, zero meaning it's the very first one that's on the market, and there are more to come. That's your big hint there. And I'm just going to slide my screen down here so you guys can kind of get a better sense of what the shoe looks like. It's a lifestyle shoe. So even though Roger Federer, famous of all time, greatest of all time tennis player, this is not a tennis shoe. This is a lifestyle shoe. He wanted to launch with a lifestyle shoe first. So I would invite you guys to go to theroger.com, learn more about what Roger Federer is doing with a fantastic brand that we love, and I know you guys love at Omega, with On Running, and that relationship is now completely solidified. It is shared worldwide. I mean, when you watch the show that happened live on their multiple channels, if you go to theroger.com, you'll see they had folks from Asia, they had folks from South America. I mean, folks were asking questions to Roger. They were getting to know more about what this shoe is going to do, what his relationship with On Running is. So anyways, that's my InstaFave. If you remember a while ago, I told you that when we shared the news that Roger Federer was working with On, that became, in 2019, the most successful post that we put out there because people were so excited about this relationship. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So that you guys can be excited about where On Running is going with this fantastic athlete that obviously knows a thing or two about performance and what he likes in comfort, and more importantly, style. On is known for their style, and to put that, the king on that, that king's touch of Roger Federer on the style of On, I think is going to be really exciting. So I wanted to share that with you. So again, the website that they have dedicated at On is theroger.com. You can go through and watch some of the great live show. There are 5 segments of the show that talk about the actual Roger shoe. And he'll answer questions from fans. And if you've never really got a sense of Roger Federer's personality, these are great shows to watch to get a real good sense of his personality and how much he enjoys his fans. All right, so those are my mega news. So again, Revel 3 from Brooks is out, and it is available at Omega Sports in stores at your neighborhood sports store and online at omegasports.com. And then my InstaFave this week is On Running, where we got introduced to the new Roger shoe from Roger Federer from On Running. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to my full screen, because speaking of InstaFave, every time I talk about Instagram, I always bring up our wellness partner, Dr. Clay Sankey from True Motion Therapy. He is blowing up on Instagram. We are super excited to see his success. He is constantly putting out fantastic videos to help folks understand just a little bit more about maybe their aches and pains, or how to move your body, or how to prepare, or how to protect and prepare for any of the things that you have with an active lifestyle. Today is a really interesting one because we're going to talk about sleep. And his video really kind of helps folks find that best sleep position. As an expert, as a medical professional, he's sharing his thoughts when it comes to proper sleep positions. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at his video on sleeping.
Today we are talking sleep position. Which sleep position is right for you? We're also going to be talking about what kind of pillow you should be using and what kind of mattress you should be using based on your sleep position. So to start, we have 3 main sleep positions: back, side, and stomach. Now right off the bat, the best sleep position for you is the one that's going to give you the best night's sleep. Sleep is that important. Now I don't care if your sleep position is considered not ideal. If you sleep really well in that position, you wake up feeling good, stick with it. Okay. That being said, out of those 3 that I mentioned, back, side, stomach, stomach is probably the least ideal. The reason for that is when you sleep on your stomach, you have to have your head turned essentially 90 degrees all night. That puts a lot of pressure on the neck. I guess you could avoid this by sleeping on a massage table where your head can just be straight down, but that's not realistic. So sleeping with your neck in that position, not great. It also puts a good amount of stress on your low back as well. So if you can avoid sleeping on your stomach, do that. Now, between back and side sleeping, one is not really better than another. You can make both work for you. If you're struggling with a little bit more neck or back pain, probably sleeping on your back is the best way to go. But again, if you sleep really well on your side, just stick with sleeping on your side. But we can make some modifications around those sleep positions to make them more ideal and more comfortable for you. So we're going to start with side sleeping. When you're sleeping on your side, you want a slightly thicker pillow. Now, if you look at these 2 pillows here, this pink one is a little thinner, this red one is a little thicker. When you're sleeping on your side, you want a thicker pillow so it can take up that space in between your shoulder and your ear. If it's too thin, you're going to be all crunched up like this, pressure on your shoulder, pressure on your neck, not a fun time. So, slightly thicker pillow when you're sleeping on your side. We also want to have a pillow in between our knees, okay? Keeping that pillow in between your knees keeps your hips and your low back nice and happy. If you don't have that pillow, you're gonna be all twisted up like this, pressure on your back, pressure on your hips, not fun. So, nice thick pillow in between your knees. And when it comes to mattress, typically we want a softer mattress if you're sleeping on your side. That way it can accommodate to the contours of your shoulder and your hip, keep the pressure low in those areas. So sleeping on your side, you'd certainly make it work with a thicker pillow, a pillow in between your knees, and a softer mattress. Now back sleeping, like I said, probably more ideal if you're struggling with some neck or back pain. When you're sleeping on your back, you want a thinner pillow like this. If it's too thick, your head's gonna be pushed forward, and it can cause some strain on the neck. So a thinner pillow, and then you also want a pillow under your knees. Okay? So thin pillow under your head, nice kind of cushioned pillow under your knees. That rocks your pelvis back and keeps the stress off your low back while you're sleeping. Okay? Additionally, back sleepers probably will fare better with a more firm mattress. That way it just gives you the support that you need throughout the night, as opposed to a softer mattress, which will kind of sink into a little bit. So, to summarize, stomach sleeping, probably not great for anybody unless you just really sleep well in that position, you wake up feeling good. Side sleeping, great with a thicker pillow between your knees, softer mattress. Back sleeping, thinner pillow under your knees, and a more firm mattress. I hope that was helpful.
What do I got to say? That's my InstaFave, always an InstaFave. Every week he'll be an InstaFave. Our wellness partner, I want to thank Dr. Clay Sankey from True Motion Therapy. He's out of the South Charlotte market, but again, if you're on Instagram and you're looking for great content, make sure you follow him. You can go to truemotiontherapy.com to learn more about what him and his practice offers, and then follow at True Motion Therapy. That's at True Motion Therapy on Instagram. Guys, he'll be soon live with us doing another AMA. I know we're trying to work out his schedule. He's a busy practice, so it's hard to get him sometimes on Saturday mornings to kind of break out his schedule. You know, I like the fact that he's not telling patients, no, I can't see you because I got to do a live show. So we've got to coordinate that a little bit with him. But he is planning on doing another Ask Me Anything session pretty soon. We'll be live and answering our viewers' questions that you guys sometimes submit early and then you do live on the show. Speaking of live, I want to give a quick shout out to some folks that are in our chat. Megan, hello, good morning. Valerie, good morning. Ashley, good morning. And then Aretha Sun, who we'll be talking to later on the show is already sharing to his channel. So I appreciate that. Corey's pushing out to his fans, you know, and his followers and his likes out there to make sure that they're watching the show. It'll be a good segment. And I'm sure he can appreciate that Dr. Clay is a on running fan. As you saw, as he hopped on that table, those ons were loud and proud. So we're excited to see that. So that was a great segment. Some things that I think when I watched it, I saw as common sense, like, of course, you know, you want to, you know, fill in that gap, but we don't think about it. So it's nice to know when we see a video like that and we hear from an expert, a medical expert, that kind of reiterates these are the right potential positions that you want to look into when you're trying to find that best sleep position. Things like if you sleep on your side, a softer mattress is more important. Those are things that we don't really consider because we're just so tired and we just go to sleep. But it's nice to hear an expert talk about it. So you know, we don't talk about sleep enough, so I appreciate Dr. Sankey's take on helping folks find that comfort and how to technically perform well when you sleep. So I appreciate that. So, you know, we talked about sleep. Now let's talk about recovery, because part of what, you know, is important when it comes to having an active play or an active sports life is to make sure that you're doing proper recovery. And as I said earlier in the show, we can't talk about recovery without talking about OOFOS. Over the last several months or weeks, as our shoppers, our customers, our fans, our family, our friends, our neighbors are out there being more active, running and walking and finding those sports that they can still keep safe distance from others, they're active. And with more activity comes a need for recovery. And OOFOS has always been our kind of go-to when you're in our stores. All you got to do is try it on, as Corey, I think, alluded to in the beginning of the show. All you got to do is try it on. But when you do try them on, you will find yourself in a much better position structurally with your body and some comfort that will relieve some of the stresses you've been putting on your body when it comes to that active lifestyle. So real quick, I want to just kind of introduce folks. I know we've talked about OOFOS in a while, but I want to introduce folks a little bit more on the technology side of OOFOS. And what they can offer. So I want to play a quick video from OOFOS, and then I want to bring Luke, because Luke's in our green room. We're waiting to talk more about OOFOS because he's the expert. I am a fan. He's the expert, and he's going to share more about this fantastic pair of, he brought a few sandals that he wants to talk about. But first, let's learn more about OOFOS. All right, so we are ready to bring Luke on, the legend Luke of OOFOS. Welcome, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I just want to give you a quick shout out. As I was kind of talking about OOFOS, you have Latoya in our comment saying, "Just try them on." Facts.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we can talk about and you can show the video how great OOFOS are. It's 9 times out of 10 in a store. You try them on. Wow, like I'm not taking these off. Like can I walk out with these? Can I just take the tags off and I'll pay for them first? But then, yeah, you can walk out in them. So, yeah.
That's a tip. That's a pro tip. Pay for it first.
Pay for it first.
Yep. So let's start, Luke. I think what I want to kind of spend some time on is let's talk about what a recovery sandal. What does that mean when we say recovery sandal? And because there are maybe folks that would say, well, it just looks like a sandal. So talk to us about what does recovery sandal mean? And when I say that, you should be very loud and proud on the fact that you guys are a #1 recovery sandal on the market.
Yeah, I think it's something that, you know, obviously there's sandals abound. I mean, you can go anywhere and get like a Reef or whatever sandals you've got. Where our technology really based from is the foam in the sandal. And as you showed in the video, Our foam is absorbent. So every step that you are literally packing down, your body's transferring energy. So performance footwear, that energy just goes right out the bottom. What our foam does is it collects that energy and returns that up to your body. So it's allowing your ankle, your knee, your hips just to really set more neutral and really just allowing that recovery to start. Just getting that energy back into your body as opposed to losing it. So that's a good part.
Yep. And I want to just, for folks that are out there that maybe still have not tried on OOFOS, what are you waiting on? That's number one. I mean, we've got Neighborhood Sports Store. We have the friendliest staff ever. Just go into one and just say, hey, I'd like to try on this brand called OOFOS. But really, I think for folks that haven't yet tried it on, I want to just spotlight the fact that when we say foam, okay, so there's lots of things that claim that they have foam. And we probably have tried things that have foam. And sometimes people feel that foam, that word foam could be too much cushion and they kind of sink into things. I just want to highlight, as a fan of OOFOS, that when I tried on them, when I tried on the sandals, I didn't sink. I mean, it really contours and supports. It's a really interesting, it's like, I want you guys to like just completely rename the foam. I know you call them O-foam, right?
Yeah.
But like, just saying foam is sometimes not even fair, because we all have an idea of what foam is. But when you put on OOFOS, it really is this soft, buttery kind of cushion, but then still supports that foot in all the right ways. That's that technology.
So what it is the foam is that's the basis of our product. But what happens in the footbed is it has a nice high arch to it. That's really allowing your foot to make its own impression every single time you walk. So as you said, you first step into it, you're like, I've not felt anything like this before. This is interesting, maybe a little bit too soft. But as you start walking on it, that's when your body starts saying, no, we need this now. Like, we needed this 5 years ago. Like, I mean, it's not just for the runners. It's not just for the people who work out. I mean, nurses, doctors, chiropractors, anybody on their feet all day, teachers. We put our feet through a lot. And that's where your body really needs to start doing and healing itself, is from the ground up. So
we preach that a lot at Omega. I mean, it's really the foundation of pretty much all of your success health-wise in a lot of ways. So Luke, tell us how long you've been with OOFOS and what brought you to OOFOS.
So I've been with OOFOS going on over 2 years now. Moved to North Carolina because I wanted to cover North and South Carolina, parts of Virginia, parts of Maryland and DC. So I'm on the road quite a bit, but I love it. I love working with Omega. You guys have one of the friendliest staffs I think I've ever, walked into a store. I've never met a stranger. And I got the opportunities because my best friend, or good friend of mine, is actually my boss. He called me and he's like, hey, you're very personable. We want you to go and talk about sandals with people. All right, let's go. So, I mean, a background on me. I mean, I'm very athletic, very just into sports all through my childhood, ran in college. So the recovery aspect of it, that's what really kind of drove me to it. Because before OOFOS, I hadn't heard of anything that you could use as a recovery, like after your run, to wear and you're not even focused on recovery. Like, you're wearing a sandal, right? I mean, that's, you're recovering without even realizing. And so putting them on the first time, I was hooked, and I was like, I can work for a company like this. I mean, it's a great company to work for. We'd stand by the product. We want, everybody else to feel the ooh. So that's what we tell people.
Absolutely. And well, I'll kind of piggyback and reiterate, very personal. Luke is one of our favorites at Omega Sports. He definitely has gone above and beyond whenever we ask for extra support from OOFOS, when we ask for doing, there was a wonderful, glorious time where we did not have a pandemic and we could have people into our stores in abundance and have fantastic events. And, we strive for those days, more and more as we slowly navigate through what's happening in the world right now. But you're joining us today because that relationship between Neighborhood Sports Store and Brand Expert is phenomenal. And of course, we're not your only customer or client, and you've got lots of them, but you definitely have carved a very special place at Omega Sports. I mean, when I first started working with Omega and I started to kind of dive into these brands as head of marketing, everyone said, Luke, you need to work with Luke. You need to talk to Luke. And I'm glad that we were able to connect and have you on the show. Now, you brought 3 distinct kind of models or styles that I want to let you kind of riff on. And while you're pulling those up, I want to let you know that we've got, is it Lila, who says, love the UFOs. So more fans out there for you.
Oh, that's my mom.
Oh, okay. So maybe your mom. So that's let me piggyback on that. So I did the same thing. You know, my mom had been, you know, she had a long career on her feet. And, you know, when and she wore sandals, probably I can remember as a kid, my mom always wore sandals, you know, and when I gave her a pair of UFOs, it changed everything. She was like, whoa, this is dynamic. And then I know Mary, our producer, who you guys don't get to see on screen, she did the same thing. She gave them to her mom. And so moms definitely who are on their feet, cooking and doing all kinds of things, running and doing, you know, active play. And then of course, in their professional careers as well, you know, and sometimes, you know, in high heels, a lot of times, giving them that proper recovery is fantastic. It's a game changer for them. And then you mentioned healthcare. I know personally, we at Omega have done a lot with nurses. And I remember talking to nurses about the need for something to help them. You know, they certainly can't necessarily wear them while they're working at the hospital, but when they're not, and they need to have that support and that recovery, that's important to them.
Yeah,
and
I mean, and even to piggyback off what you're talking about, we donated pairs to first frontline workers right when this pandemic started. I mean, we donated, I think it was over 30 hospitals, over 3,000 or 4,000 pair. I mean, it's something that's on our minds as well, as far as helping, you know, push forward what we're doing as a brand. So, but yeah, I've got three different styles here. You carry them all in the store. The first one's going to be the Ooh-Ah, so it's your basic slide. And what this, all of our product is all unisex sized, so they're all going to be men's 8, women's 10, somewhere along those lines. As you can see, nice high arch to it, nice like patented footbed, going to help with plantar fasciitis. This is your Ooh-Ah.
Ooh-Ah.
Ooh-Ah. Then we're going to go to the Ooh-La-La. So this is more of your women's specific. Same patented footbed, same high arch. The only difference is it's a little bit narrower of a footbed. Definitely fits a woman's foot a little bit better, but the colors obviously much more marketed to the women. Bright colors, flashy colors, draw some attention. Great for going out in the town on. My girlfriend loves them.
Yep, and I will say when it comes to the colors, I mean, when folks try them on, they get super excited and they're hooked for life. And they keep coming back for more colors, and they get really excited. Oh, I saw this color. I want this color. And so if you see a color that you want, definitely let your active play expert at Omega Sports know, you know, what you're looking for. I mean, we're working with Luke. We're working with the team at UFOS to continuously figure out the color combinations that are out there that people are most excited about. But yeah, you guys put out some fantastic color selections. So style is just as important as just the comfort and the performance of the actual sandal. And you guys have really matched that for a lot of folks.
So then I have a fourth one I just found too. So I've got a third one here is just your basic sandal. This is the original. It's in the graphite color. Has the logo on the side, has a nice little gray to it, but same footbed, same everything, unisex sized. This is another option as well. So if you like, and most people will ask too, you know, what's the difference between the original and the Ooh-Ah? Obviously, there's no toe post. Some people prefer to have the toe posts. I actually like the toe post a little bit more. Spreads your forefoot out a little bit more. It gets a little bit stress off the front of the foot. This is a great one for after biking, keeping your socks on, something like that, just to slide in. I mean, the dad socks, you know, wear those around. So that's
they're making a comeback.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Not for me, but they are.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have, and I know you guys have them in a couple stores. This is something that's really trending online for us right now, is our shoe.
Yep.
So this is the same. It's going to be the same footbed that's in all of our product. It just has a nice upper to it. All of our product are machine washable and they float. So
wow.
this is a great Water shoe can be used kayaking, paddleboarding, on the boat, things like that. Colder months, wear a sock with it. Still going to be recovering, still going to, help with that benefit. So another option as well.
Yep. And you know what? I wanted to go back to what you said about the, able to wash them. I will say our experts, I've heard them in the store when they're talking about OOFOS, they'll say, they'll obviously play the benefits of, how it helps your, plantar fasciitis and all those kind of medical benefits and stresses on the body. But I've also heard this conversation around, and you can just spray them. I mean, you can just water them down, clean them easily, so you constantly have a fresh sandal. Where, let's face it, some of the sandals that are out there, you're going to sweat in them, and they're not easy to clean. If you've got that leather or that suede, they get a little funky. And so to know that you can easily just wash them has been a huge benefit. I've seen light bulbs go off for customers who say, I hadn't thought about that. I haven't really thought about how a sandal in the heat that, there may be some sweat residual, and there's an easier way to clean it when you get an OOFOS.
I will share one of my I was 1 week on the job. I was training at Houston Marathon back, 2 years ago. And this lady comes over and she's touching them on the rack and just squeezing them and touching them. And she's got a kid, she's got coffee. She spills her coffee over half the rack. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, no, this is a perfect opportunity. Watch this. I take a Clorox wipe and I just wiped it down. And she goes, honey, we need 3 of these.
Yeah. I think we should do a whole show of you just throwing pizza sauce on it, and we should just totally throw syrup, and you can just wash it in front of everybody. We'll have to figure that out.
In store, we'll do that in store next time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe that'll be an in-store challenge. How dirty can you get an OOFOS so that we can show you how easy it is to clean it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Luke, keep that in mind for Omega Sports. Don't share that with anybody else. Anyone watching, don't share that with anybody else. That's just for Omega Sports. We're going to do a fun, dirty up the OOFOS segment.
Okay.
Yep. And then I do want to point out that just for folks that are, the kind of the shopper. So the size, the differences in styles, just for me to share with folks, we call them thongs or slides, right? So the toe post that you were referring to, that gives you that wider spread. Folks may traditionally just consider that I want the thong style. Just slide your foot in there, thong style. And then the slides, if folks are in sports, they're used to those slides. So when you held up the one that kind of just slips the foot in, that's really more of the slide style. So our active play experts may just refer to it as that.
As a slide, yep.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Luke, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have you on the show in more segments, in the future. We are, I know, going to plan an in-store live recording, which is always fun because you never know what goes on in a store at any given time. Your fans will probably be shouting in the background while I'm trying to host, and I'll have to remind you, look right here. But I can't wait to have you in the stores very, very soon and doing a live show there and really kind of walking through all the great benefits from OOFOS.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you guys just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I know that during this weird time, you guys are open, you guys are, selling great product, including OOFOS. So just couldn't be more happier with you guys. So keep on rocking.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that on the screen, we've got a link that takes you right into our inventory of OOFOS. That's oofos.omegasports.com. And I'll leave it with this. Luke, I'll give you one more chance to remind folks. All you got to do is try it on.
Anybody that has questions about it, I will come down to any Omega store and I will help you put them. If you're skeptical about it and you put them on and you don't like them, we can have a conversation. Because it's a completely different, it's a game changer for sure. It's one of the things that drives the brand forward is how easily we're able to change people's minds and perspectives and what a sandal should do for you. So
absolutely. So when you guys are out there and you're coming into Omega Sports this weekend for the new Revel 4, just say, hey, let me also try on that recovery sandal from OOFOS. Don't worry and don't be intimidated if you don't know how to say it the first time. It took me a couple of times. Just spell it out or just kind of mimic it, and our active play experts will immediately know what you're talking about. All right, yeah. Luke, well, thank you for spending Saturday morning with us. We're going to give you back the rest of your Saturday. Again, guys, OOFOS is the #1 recovery sandal. We're happy to have them in our stores and a great relationship with their expert, Luke. Thanks again.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, Luke. We appreciate, hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about OOFOS. You got to see us kind of fan over them a little bit more and talk about some of the benefits that, one of the reasons why we sell them at Omega Sports, because at Omega Sports, one thing that we do is we try to bring in the best products. We get hit up by a lot of brands. There are brands out there that we do not sell that are available in other places, but we really try to make sure that we're buying for our customer in mind. And when we are talking about active play and we're talking about runners and we're talking about folks that are putting a lot of stress on their feet, OOFOS really was a great solution for us to be able to offer in our stores. So that's why we have them. All right, so now what I want to do is let's talk about Aretha Sun. Last week, we debuted the On Running video that Corey Hatchell produced just because he wanted to celebrate this fantastic shoe, the shoe brand that he actually learned about at Omega Sports, which he'll tell us about a little bit more. But real quick, I want to go ahead and replay what we shared last week and on social, once again, for folks that are watching that maybe didn't see it. Let's watch On Cloud Aretha Sun.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time to introduce everyone to Aretha Sun. Today, we're gonna promote a new and active lifestyle and the best product to do it in, the On Cloud shoe. I wanna put on because I have a son who thinks he can beat his dad in a one-on-one. Not today. I'm about to roll through and see how y'all putting on out there. Let's get it.
Push yourself, faster, faster! Why do you put on?
I put on for Generation Y because we always know what's hot.
But why you?
Why not? I put on to beat him in the Ironman. Again.
I put on because I'm a former college athlete, and it's time for me to start looking like it.
Don't just look at it. Let's go.
I see you working, bro.
I put on for survivors and thrivers.
Tell the guys I'm about to come through the bat center to see how they putting on in there.
Down through it. I put on for these kids.
First group, go! Get out of there, get out of there. 1, 2, 3, who wants up?
All right, well, let's see if we can get Corey to join us. Corey, are you there? Guys, that was a fantastic, I'm glad we were able to play it again because I never get tired of it. Corey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Hopefully you can hear me. Good morning.
I can. So I see, is it Janine saying, whoop, whoop, Aretha Sun? Anthony says, hashtag I put on.
Okay, we have the family putting on now.
There you go. So Corey, let's first talk about you. So tell me about your active sports background, your love of sports and activity.
Basically, I came up in a competitive household. I'm the youngest of 3 boys, and if anyone is the youngest in the family, you realize you really don't win in anything. Your older brothers or sisters who are always beating you and stuff. And so I came up in that competitive lifestyle. I have 2 older brothers who took joy in beating me and stuff. And so, so everything has been competitive. I was always into sports. My parents were also into sports. And so from like day one, it just always was sports, competing, being competitive in whatever it is that you're doing. That kind of spilled over to the neighborhoods I lived in, and you're always competing against your friends, who even your most passionate competition was against your best friends. And so that was from the time I was like probably 3 or 4 to the time I went to Elon to play football, to like even in the older stage of playing competitive softball and soccer, even as old as I am now. So competition is key, and it's been put in me since day one, and it still runs in me right now.
Well, and what I love is that competitive drive spills over into the talents of your creativity as well. Just as a experienced marketer, storyteller, brander, when I saw this, I remember Sam. So Sam's our technical expert from On Running. When he sent this over to us, he was like, hey, I found this fantastic video. I've talked to the gentleman. I think he's got a great story. He's, revving up this fantastic new initiative. Again, I'm going to call it initiative. I know there's bigger plans for it. And I honestly, he said, he's a great fan. I'd love to see if you guys would be interested in sharing it. And then I watched it and I was like, whoa, this is a fan plus like 1,000. You really, that competition level that you are experiencing, you've experienced through your whole life, you took that game to the same thing when it comes to marketing and making sure that you really highlighted a fantastic shoe. Why are you in, like, especially, you know, I know this is a new venture for you. Why the On Cloud? What was the love of that shoe that you decided to put some, because you put some effort in that video. You put some effort, you got some folks together, you really kind of scripted it very well. So why the On Cloud?
But Dale, I'm telling you, it was a real life experience. I went into Omega Sports, and I tell you, I went there just to get my son a pair of shin guards because soccer was starting. I was late getting what he needed. We needed some shin guards. I went to Omega Sports, and they had this huge display of On Clouds. And I'm not a runner, I'm not a marathoner. I'd never heard of them. And the guy in there said, "Hey, have you ever heard of these shoes?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, do you run?" I said, "No, but I need to be more active. I'm older. I need to be more active." He said, "Put these on, and I promise you, they're going to feel like you're walking on a cloud." I said, "Yeah, right. There's no way I believe that." He said, "Well, you don't have anything to lose. Put them on, walk around the store." I put the shoes on, and I walked around the store, and I came back and said, "Put them in a box. I'm buying them right now."
Awesome.
It was that type of comfort. It was that type of support. It was that type of, I don't feel like I have to be a marathon runner to appreciate what I feel right now on my feet. I'm buying them right now. So I thanked him and I bought a pair right that day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'll give a shout out to Tice. I know that's an active play expert with Omega. Tice, who's legendary at Omega, worked with you. You know, that's what we want in Omega Sports. You know, we obviously want to be there for any active sports needs that folks come into. But really, it's that discovery of great new brands. I'm sure it didn't feel like a heavy sales environment. It was just, hey, this is a great shoe that you should learn about, you should know about, because we're excited. We're genuinely excited about working with On. And all you got to do is just put it on and try it. And your reaction is what we hear all the time. You know, you come into a neighborhood sports store, you're very comfortable, you got what you need there, but then you can discover fantastic new brands that are game changers. I mean, you know, you like you said, you're not a runner. You never would have thought to consider running shoes. You were there to be a good father, taking care of the necessities and the needs of your kid. But then you became a huge fan. I think you're right. I remember being introduced to On, and I just remember thinking, I've never felt anything like this before. And then I became like the biggest. I probably have a weird track where I tell people, if you travel, this is the shoe to travel with because it's super light. You can throw it in your suitcase. So I was like creating benefits where I don't even know people were considering, because I just traveled a lot and I just loved being able to get in and out really quickly with this light shoe, and still supported me as I had to go from terminal to taxis to, you know, Ubers. I mean, it was the best shoe to travel in. So I became like the travel advocate of On.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so I would just say this. So my wife has this thing about, she doesn't like sending me to the store without a very specific list, because she knows I'll come back with some random stuff. I went to the store with a list of just shin guards. I come back with these pair of shoes, and she's like, "Well, what this? You know, why is this?" So I had to get her a pair, and then she understood, and she then put on, and then it just continued to grow.
Absolutely.
So anyone who puts on, get your spouse or your significant other some, and they'll understand why you put on.
When I traveled, I bought my wife a pair, and she is an advocate as well. We literally are at, like, we'll be with other couples or whatever, and we'll talk about, oh, if you're traveling, make sure you go check out these On shoes, because those are the best travel shoes. So, and again, with On, I always say this, it's easy to fall in love with the brand because they just look so good. I mean, the style that On puts on is fantastic. See, I used your hashtag already, put on.
There you go.
It's fantastic. So it's easy to fall in love with. So even just from those fashion interested folks that want a really good looking shoe that people may take a second glance at and say, ooh, those are nice. Great coloring, great style. That is what you can find in On. And then all of the new technology that's a game changer that no one else offers, that cloud technology is fantastic. So you made the video. Tell us a little bit more about, like, why is it called I Read the Sun?
So my whole, as I said earlier, I mean, I've been playing sports and being competitive since day one. And my biggest fan has always been my mom, rest her soul. And so that's my mom, Lily Aretha Hatchell, and most of her family and friends call her Aretha. And I've always said, anytime I get a chance to honor her, I'm going to honor her name, and I would never let her name fail. So when I wanted to venture out and do something
on my own with this, I wanted to put it under the name Aretha Sun, because that name would not fail. And I'll make sure I put the extra effort, the intensity, the energy in it as Aretha Sun, because she's still my biggest fan. And I know she looks down on me now. And so I always want to keep that. And even my son came to me and said, Dad, I want a shirt that says Aretha's grandson. And that means the world to me when you have that type of like just energy or something. And so it's always going to be out of respect to my mom, because she did so much to make me who I am today.
Corey, I love that. And I know you've got fans, we've got folks watching, they love it. I love hearing that. I think we all have folks in our lives that mean so much to us. Clearly, moms are a huge, they're our first coach, right? They're our first coach, they're our first counselors, they're our first line of defense in a lot of ways. They soothe us, and then they encourage us and they push us. They've got that steady hand that can push us forward. And I loved when I remember we communicated early on and you told me that story, and I just loved hearing that. I love that it's in honor of your mom. And it's really because she just kept pushing you forward. And, you know, that's what we're all about. Like at Omega Sports, we want people to keep moving forward. We want to keep people moving. There's no reason to stand still. If you have the ability, we want to be able to safely get you active, moving, and just enjoying life. And that's what it's about. And I saw a lot of joy in the folks that were in that video. Tell us some fun stories from the video. I know there was a couple there that I guess are Ironman runners. I think you said
Ironman runners, Ironman competitors. First of all, everyone in the video are all family, friends, neighbors, or everyone who just really believed in what it is we were trying to do. And I do have a neighbor. I do have neighbors, and they're a couple, and they compete in these Ironman competitions all the time. And she, Amanda Pack, always beats him. Will Pack. So, I mean, shout out to women who do it so great in so many different ways. She beats him all the time. And they have this thing to where whenever she beats him, he has to wear this pink t-shirt that says, I got chicked by my wife.
Yep.
So we wanted to actually put that. Yeah. So we put that in there. Like, that's real life. She beats him all the time. And we wanted it to be known. She beats him all the time and he gets chicked by his wife. So that's just one of the fun things that we wanted to show. And everyone else in it like really wanted to bring a real life aspect to how it is they put on in everyday life. You don't have to be a marathon runner to actually put on, to enjoy it. Like the comfort and what it is that you do in a day-to-day is important for all of us. And so we just wanted to show that.
I love it. I love it. Reggie just said Elon team. So just some love for your time at Elon there. So tell us about the future of Aretha Sun. I mean, I'm teasing about it, but, you know, I do think that, one, the talent and the creativity that you were able to demonstrate in this kind of first kind of out the gate brand opportunity. Tell us what the future of Aretha Sun looks like without giving away too much.
Right. So, and so Dale, first I would say, no disrespect to you, I feel like we have marketing concept ideas that are better than anyone else right now. And we're looking at partnering.
That competitiveness that's out there. Yeah.
That competitiveness is not going to go anywhere. And I feel like our team is better than everyone else's team, meaning what we bring as far as ideas, diversity, concepts. And so what's happening next, this is just step one. This is the first commercial that we wanted to put out just to show this is what we can do. We have another series of commercials that are coming out soon. We want to show different products. We want to show different concepts. But we really want to keep showing that we can influence marketing, we can influence sales, we can really get different demographics into great products. So if you have a great product, we can turn on a different demographic that you may not have thought about, and we can be the ones who can connect the dots. So I feel like we can do that better than anyone else, and we want to partner with anyone who wants to do that. If you feel like you can do that better than us, let's compete and let's see.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, I think there's going to be a lot of runway for how there may be some collaborations in the future. I mean, I'm certainly impressed with what you were able to put together. Again, I think I was looking at it as like, this will be a great fan share. You know, it was an Insta fave that I kind of teed up, and then it got so much more than that when I looked at it. I was like, okay, these guys are serious. Like, he's really doing something here. So we are fans of you. As much as you are a fan of Omega and a fan of On Running. So we look forward to, guys that are watching, just know there's going to be some talks. We're going to be talking about some things and what we need to be doing. And I can certainly tell you that the one thing that I love about where we sit at Omega is that we get access to worldwide brands. And I always tell people I'm like a kid in a candy store. I get to work with fantastic brands. You know, our owner or myself or our buyers get to pick up the phone and talk to those brands on a regular basis. Omega, for many folks who are very familiar with Omega, we are known as your neighborhood sports store. And we want you to know that. We want you to love that. But if you look at kind of the landscape of sports retail or specialty retail, we're a major player. And you know, when it comes to On in particular, I am loud and proud about the fact that when On pivoted and said, you know what, we have to help our sports retailers out there, our specialty retailers that are out there, and they launched new initiatives. Omega, that competitiveness, jumped ahead, and we took the lead, and we held the #1 position in the world. Across every country in the world, Omega held the #1 position because our customers are loyal. They wanted to support local. On gave us an opportunity, and we scaled that opportunity, and we're very proud of that. But Omega is a major player. I mean, it's nice to have been told that at the Zurich headquarters of On, Omega Sports was on their slides, their presentations. They were following what we were doing to make sure that people saw that there is success that can happen if you're just motivated and you bring that partnership together. And that's what we do at Omega Sports. And again, we want to be that connector for you. We have access to some fantastic brands, and they are always looking for great ideas and great concepts. And so I think there's a lot that we'll be able to work together on. Or a connection, and then I just get out of the way.
No, definitely. I just want to feed on that from one spot that anytime and every time I've been in Omega Sports has been a great interaction from a customer service standpoint. Everyone remembered me from the last time, so they knew what I was looking for. So we can go straight to the On section and we can have conversations. So it really feels like that family, like neighborhood environment every time you walk in. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate the staff, at least the staff in Morrisville. So I will always shout out that team and my experience there. And so looking forward to working with you and that team going forward. And yeah, absolutely. Let's make great things happen.
There you go. You said the word rememberable. I would also say you're pretty rememberable. So I can imagine, as great as our staff is, you definitely probably come in and you're memorable. So for the folks that are excited about On, we've got on.omegasports.com. We've got a great selection. We've scaled On over the last several months to make sure that we put more on our website, more availability, more color selections, more quantity. So if you are in love with On as Corey is and all of his fantastic neighbors and friends that were a part of Iretha Sun, we're going to continue to keep revving up that enthusiasm for On at our website. At Omega Sports, you get fast rewards. So no matter what, just know that if you're buying Ons, you come to Omega Sports, you get more in return because it's $5 on every $50 that you spend. And that's another benefit that we want to make sure that our shoppers have. Corey, it's been fantastic to have you today. A little glimpse of how we do things. I know there are some big ideas that you have. We're huge fans of yours. We can't wait to see where they go and to be a part of them. I want to just quickly shout out, you can follow Iretha Sun at Iretha, that's IREATHAS_Sun. As you continue to build out that channel, I want to make sure that people are encouraged to follow, and we'll continue to keep a rotation of promotion to make sure that we can do our part.
Definitely. Thank you, Dale. Please follow me. Go to the YouTube link. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'm open to feedback, but I look forward to any more collaboration and what we can do going forward. Let's make it happen. And let's be great.
Absolutely. Keep that two-way going. Keep sending me ideas, and I'll keep connecting you to whoever we have. I got a nice portfolio that I think Omega Sports allows us to play around with. So. Well, I'm going to give you back your Saturday. I know you're family man, so go enjoy your Saturday. It should be hopefully a nice weekend. I'm looking at a window over here. Can't wait to get out there a little bit.
No, definitely. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Absolutely. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show. We appreciate you joining us. It is 11 o'clock. It is time to go out and be active, have fun, stay safe, and shop at Omega Sports. You can go online all day long, anytime, or you can drop by our neighborhood sports store and get that real experience that Corey was talking about when he shops in there. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks again. We'll be back next Saturday with another great Saturday Mega Wellness.